Hello and welcome to Sorare Sunday for the week starting the 18th to the 24th. And let's have a look how we did this week. So this week we're going to go back down to the 15th to the 19th in our pros, and we had a horrid time of it. I'm not going to lie, because of the internationals, and I've spoken about the issues I've had with internationals. Yeah, I was very close to getting something here this in season. I just needed one more player to play well. I don't think I had anyone. Potentially, if I'd have switched Zion Suzuki for Muric, I think we would have got something. So, that would have been nice if that would have happened. But yeah, no one really performed other than Nusa, who got a goal and assist because Norway played Kazakhstan. And yeah, overall, David Hill played quite well in the lower leagues in Spain. Christian Eriksen played fairly well. I think Denmark. I can't remember who Denmark played, but it's not showing up there. But yeah, Scott McTominay played okay. Jorgen Larsson played okay. Actually, that team did fairly well. They were just all very middling scores, weren't they? And I was really annoyed that I was so close with this one. I don't quite know where. Maybe if I'd have captained Haaland, I would have got higher score. But I think I needed a better goalkeeper. Although he kept a clean sheet and had a save, got 68. Not too shabby. Or potentially if I'd have captained the keeper, I might have got something. But I was 52 points off top 3%. That's the highest I've got on this Europe free-to-play version. So not too shabby. So that was the weekend, and then during the week, there wasn't really. It was kind of the end of the internationals. So I think the Monday and Tuesday had internationals, and then it kind of just petered out into the odd game of I think when I went on Rivals, it was just the Argentinian and the Brazilian leagues were playing, and that was it most days. So. Yeah, not a lot during the week. Didn't get anything again. So really terrible week for me. No boxes from the pro leagues. I think this is the first week in a very long time I've got no boxes at all from the pros. Harry Wilson did really well. He is an enigma to me. He plays really well for international most of the time. And he plays really well for Fulham. But he never starts for Fulham. And I'm just confused as to why. I'm sure there's a reason. If anyone's a Fulham fan and can explain why Harry Wilson doesn't start for you, I'd love to know, because he seems like a starter, but maybe he's injury prone. I don't know. I don't keep up with it as much, but yeah, it's just one of those things which just confuses me. But yeah, he got me a massive 155 points. We were 26 points off, and what are the chances I have two Slovakian goalkeepers, Dubravka and Rodak, and they used their third choice, Grief. So the only Slovakian goalkeeper I don't have, and they used him. So yeah, I didn't get any goalkeeper. I think any goalkeeper I would have used, I would have got. If I'd used Gunnock, who had a terrible game anyway, it would just been enough to get me into a reward slot. But again, no point looking back. It's happened. There's a lot of games where players they didn't play their game. If that makes sense. I got that sentence completely confused. But yeah, there was a lot of players who didn't play their games, so that obviously lost me a lot of stuff. John Yeboah. I'm surprised that Carter Genia didn't play. He usually does play for Peru. Gregor got 96, and Sazo, I think it got 78. So if I would have got some people who had actually played in this team, potentially I would have got something, but it was not to be. And then just really annoying that Netherlands did a real shuffle round, which it makes sense when you look at it, and I should have thought about that. But you just think that they'll probably play the team that they usually do, don't you? But they didn't play their starter keeper. They played, I actually think they played Flecken. And they didn't play Reiners, I think, who's played most games for them recently. He's played pretty much all international games for them. and he's been good. He's been like really lively. I like him as a player. I think Milan have got a great like midfielder there, and he's not too old either. But then the rest of them that I picked out did great. I should have picked another Swedish player because they absolutely demolished Azerbaijan. I should have just gone a full Sweden squad, shouldn't I? But yeah, that was this week. The rivals I've done terribly in as well. I'll just quickly go on to here. I have managed to get about 7 boxes through rivals doing some games, but as you can see, it's been inconsistent and mainly losses for me so far. Yesterday we didn't have too badly. Only lost by 7 points with this one, which is really disappointing. Villa we won by 50 points basically, which was great. Tielemans was I captained him, and he's a card that I own, so it was basically the reason I won that, I think. And then Leicester game, I just about edged it out by choosing. There wasn't really. We were very similar with the people who were high scorers. The only thing is, he captained Cole as well. It was very close. Maduke, I can never know how to. Maduke, I think it is, scored higher than Nukuku, and that is basically it, because Robert Sanchez scored lower than Hermansen. So it was very close. I like it when it's quite that close. 5 points in it. It's like, it's not so nice when it's that close and you lose, but it's still cool. Do you know what I mean? My squad, I basically never check it now. I might actually win a box through my squad if I can keep it up there. I've only got a 4 at the moment, but I will probably be playing some games today and tomorrow, trying to get some of these boxes as well. There's Man United Ipswich today. I'll definitely be playing that one. So yeah, let's jump on now to look at what's happening next week. Okay, looking ahead, we have this weekend's games, so there's a lot which haven't been played. I am hopefully going to get some more boxes than I did before. I'm in line for 7 at the moment, but that basically means nothing. I've been super excited before about like my rewards when I look at them on a Sunday, and then Monday rolls around and I've lost basically everything because of games that have happened on the Sunday and the Monday. So I'm not going to get too excited about anything just yet, because I've got one whole team here which hasn't played. I've got people in every other team which haven't played. So you have to let all the games play through before you start counting your rewards up. It's like don't count your chickens before they've hatched, sort of thing. But yeah, a couple of players who've done well, like Morlanes has done well. I captained him. He's got me a 95. Just have to. Oh God, do not play. I didn't notice that. Oh well. Hopefully Serrano will play. He's not been the most consistent of being played. Fatty, I'm guessing, is injured again because he's not playing anymore, or he's dropped off majorly, so they're probably just not playing him. Although getting a draw against Celta Vigo, maybe Barca are dropping off a little bit as well. Ronaldo, I thought was going to play. So my La Liga teams are just a constant pain for me. They never have players. They never play the players that I think they are, and I never have the players that I want. They're not good enough. If anyone has like a full Barca team when they've spent like a couple grand on them, or like a full Real Madrid team, you're basically going to lose because they're always scoring higher. Antonio Nusa again. He's scored really highly, 120. Captained him. We'll just have to see how Walton won't play, so he's like I've got a problem with my goalkeepers, that in my champions I've got loads of goalkeepers but none of them are starters, so I will basically not get any score there. But I think the other two should play, and they're playing against each other, so didn't plan that out that well, did I? But we should stay within, hopefully, as long as nothing disastrous happens there. Norgard got sent off. He is such an up and down sort of player this season. He'll like have some really good games, but then he'll either get sent off or get like badly injured and then be off. So he's just one of them quite annoying players where you're like, you've got potential, but you're not quite living up to it, sort of thing. Um, Again, like loads of players that haven't played yet. Højbjerg, 118 score, captained him. Maitland Niles is another one where I can understand why he's gone to the French leagues, because I think he just wouldn't get game time in the Premier League because he drops off so much, and then he'll have a great game and he'll drop off again. You need consistency, man. But hopefully these two will play. I know Dubravka probably won't, but if these two play, we're 2 points to closest rewards. If they get like kind of around the 40s as well, at least, hopefully more for one of them or something like that. But if they get at least around the 40s, we should kind of hit some sort of good score for that and get some sort of rewards. A lot of players did not play. Duda not playing is a bit annoying. I think it's probably he's come back from international, was tired, so just have to take that. We've got this team looks like it should do quite well. Gabriel Sara, 104, De Keyser, 55. You know, as long as João Silva has a game, which we all know he can have, he's had really high scoring games, but had a little bit of a blip recently, where he's had a couple of really poor games. If he can get back onto that good form that he was on, that team could be quite high in the league. There, we've got a 2-star already. Hopefully that will stay there or thereabouts, or maybe a bit higher. Fortuna Sittard had a poor game. 1 minute, where are we? Yeah, they played Twente, and that's always a hard game. I feel like Twente are quite a good team, so unfortunate, but you know they gave me enough score to hopefully get something from it. And then we've got a full AZ team, but they're playing Sparta. So it's Sparta Rotterdam. All right, they're a fairly good team. But AZ, I don't know. It would be an interesting one, that one, to see how that plays out. I did have a 20th player, Michael Vlap, and I captained him. He went and got an assist, so that's pretty decent. But then I don't think I've ever seen a defender getting this many errors that led to goals and a 0 score. So they played PSV, a massive PSV are like basically up there in the league. They're challenging for the title, so it's gonna be a hard game. But Renate, wow, that's not good for him. Yeah, that's the worst performance I think I've ever seen for a player in like in the pros league sort of thing. So yeah, not good for him. Hopefully next game he'll sort himself out, because Groningen, I think that's how you say it, are doing fairly well this season, or were doing fairly well this season. So that's a bit of a knock for them. But Batachier, I actually brought him because I was like, he doesn't play that often, but I had Sara, so I was thinking maybe I could start building a Galatasaray team. And he went and scored. So I'm still umming and ahhing if I want to build a Galatasaray team, but it might be worth it because I've got a midfielder and a striker. I just need a defender. I don't know about their goalkeeper. I might not buy the goalkeeper if it's really expensive. I just want a cheapish team because he was quite cheap. But we've got a few people left to play in that. Could potentially be quite good. Get some rewards from that one. And then again, loads of people left to play. I don't think John McCarthy is going to play that game. I just realised, so I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. But yeah, potentially again, that might be a fairly decent scoring team. We're going down onto the contenders where I feel a bit more comfortable with some of my players here. Going to get some score. I got Mark O'Hara because he was like 83 pence. Got himself an assist, didn't he? And he seems like he plays regularly. He's one which I'm going to keep a kind of a side eye on because I think he's going to be a fairly decent one just to have in the contender leagues, just to get like quite a consistent scoring sort of thing. Because you got to also remember at the end of next month, I want to say, I think at the end of this, it might even be now actually, I think the Japanese leagues and the Korean leagues stop. So you need to have players which are in the European leagues. Otherwise, you don't have anyone for these sort of teams. So as you can see, actually, my in-season teams are now more filled out with European, whereas before, I'd probably have a whole like J-League or K-League team. But yeah, Mark O'Hara, Jesse Lingard got an assist, played really well. Glad to see he's doing well in Korea still. You know, big fan of his. I thought he was underutilized at United. I think it was a shame he didn't get a move away when he got that loan to West Ham after it. I think it was a shame they didn't just let him have it, but seems like it's worked out a little bit in the end for him because he's kind of got like a little bit of an influencing thing going on over there as well. Like he's got a bit of a fashion stuff. And then the classics haven't really can't say much about it until all these people have played. There's not a lot. Svetko got what was that? A last man tackle on a 7-0. Wow. I'm gonna have to look at that game and see who got all the goals and stuff. Maybe scout it out a little bit. But yeah, like this team with Mark O'Hara, if Ronaldo does as well as he has been all season, that could be quite a high scoring team as well. I mean, we're relegated at the moment, but all these guys have left to play. So then under 23s, like a 96 for Azon, Azon got an assist, and then Siaki, I think he's on loan at the moment with Sheffield United, got a goal and an assist, 95. Kind of wish I'd captained him. And then the rest were kind of all right, but I think that should be enough to keep us in the promoted and getting something from it. And then the rest probably look like they have games to play. Although Ross Sinclair is not playing anymore, which makes me think that whoever he was replacing has come back from injury. So I'll have to just stop playing Ross Sinclair, which is a bit annoying because he was getting game time. And now he's just been dropped. So we'll just have to find another under 23s keeper that I think we have one. I think one of our keepers we used over here is Kral. No, he's 24. He's hit that no longer being able to use in the under 23s mark. Okay, we'll have to have a look and see if we can find someone who can sit in that space. I'm sure we have a keeper already. My Europe one is basically lost now. 24 for Singo. He came on as a sub for Monaco. He usually does all right. And then Marmoush, I think it is how you say it, Marmoush. He's one of the top scorers in the Bundesliga, so I thought I'd chuck him in, see how he does. He didn't do that great. So I don't, even if these three do absolutely amazing, I don't think we're going to get anything from it. So that is that. And then the midweeks, I'm not going to go over too heavily. I was just going over this weekend, a bit more detail. But this midweeks, we've got the Champo League and everything like that. So you've got Champo League, Europa League. I always struggle to field teams for these sort of events. But AZ and Ajax are in there. So you can see I've got a lot of them. We've got Galatasaray, a little bit of United. I can't remember how you say this name, but it's a Belgian team who I've got a couple of players for. Aston Villa are still in. So yeah, I think whenever these are happening midweek, I'm gonna have, especially when like the league table bit has stopped and it goes into knockouts, I'm just gonna have less and less players that will be able to play it. So you're just gonna have to like field whatever team you can. Everyone's got the same problem, I think, because everyone those players who do play in these midweeks are more expensive because you can use them more. So yeah, you end up fielding players which you basically know aren't going to score. Anthony Lopez hasn't played all season, so he's not going to get anything. But you just play it to see if the other players can get something. You get like a little reward for that. You're not going to get that high. Can't get anything for the under 23s. Don't have a keeper that's going to be playing. And then the Europe, I've chosen Salah, Kane, Boscali, Onana, and Bellingham. I've kind of spread it out. So if we're trying to make it, I don't know if you're supposed to spread it out or go with like one team and hope that they do well. But I thought if I spread it out, it could do fairly well. I think Boscali's had an absolutely storming a storming season, and they're playing Shakhtar. I think that's a winnable game for PSV, and he should play pretty well. Onana, you'd hope that the new look Man United would do well against Bode. Liverpool, Real Madrid playing two players from the same same game against each other. Probably not the smartest move, but I was trying to think who's likely to get high score, and these are the players I came up with. And then Kane against PSG. I think PSG are like beatable by Bayern, and I think Kane could have some fun smashing some goals past them. So we'll just have to wait and see. So that is our look at next week. And now we're going to go on to see the player to watch. And my player to watch is Antonio Nusa. So I haven't mentioned him already in this video a fair bit because he got me some fairly good scores over the last week or so. Unfortunately, it didn't mean rewards because everyone else didn't get me good scores, but it wasn't his fault. As you can see, internationally, smashing goals in. And he has done it before as well. Against some of the minor teams, I'll give you that, like Kazakhstan, Kosovo. I would argue that, is that Slovenia or Slovakia? I think it's Slovenia. Yeah, Slovenia are not they played in Euros and played well. I think they're not a bad team. So to get 2 goals against them is pretty good as well. I think he's young. How old is he? He's only 19. He's just signed for RB Leipzig and gets game time, as you can see, and gets goals and assists quite regularly as a midfielder. You know, he's not taken up a striker spot. Although I think my card is a striker. I'm pretty sure I brought him from when he played for Club Brugge at the beginning of the season. So I brought him when he was not a non-revealed card, like one of those blank ones. And he was a forward who was playing for Club Brugge. And now he's a midfielder who's playing for Leipzig. But if you buy a card and it's like a forward, it doesn't change the position. It only changes the club that they play for. So I think mine's a forward, whereas if you brought him now, he would be a midfielder, potentially. Let's have a look at the cards and see. No, he is still a forward. I don't know why it says midfielder in his overview then. So, okay, he's just a forward then. So he does take up a forward slot, but I think worth it for the most part. He's 20 quid, so a little bit more on the expensive side. I got him a lot cheaper than 20 quid when he was for Club Brugge, so it was a bit of a steal for me. But yeah, you can pick him up a little bit cheaper if you go manager sales and stuff like that. And yeah, I think he will probably play fairly regularly for RB Leipzig, and he will probably also play fairly regularly for Norway. So he's a good shout at a consistent player, and he's 19 and performing at this level. As long as nothing disastrous happens, like an injury, like what happened to Ansu Fati, I mean, I could see him getting better and better and being a starter for Norway. If Norway get into like the European competitions, he's a great starter to have for like, say, the Euros or the World Cup sort of thing. He's also a great starter to have for, I think they play in, I'm trying to remember what series, I think they're in the Champions League. So he's a great player to have for Champions League because he's fairly cheap compared to the other Champions League players, I would say. I wouldn't say he's cheap, but he's cheaper compared to other Champions League players. And yeah, he could potentially get some good high scores. I mean, he does have weeks where he doesn't do well. Most footballers do. So you just have to take that, there's peaks and troughs. So yeah, he's my player to watch. Definitely one to keep an eye out for the future and at the moment. But let's go on and have a look at what's in the box.
What's in the box?
And we're going to have a very short what's in the box for sure, because we've only got 7 and they're all rivals boxes. Now I need 7 essence in order to be able to pull a new limited card. So I am hoping that I will at least get 1 essence per box on average here. But we will see what we get. It's just going to all be tickets, isn't it? Oh, we got essence and it's 1. Oh, it's tense, isn't it? The countdown is on. It's really frustrating that we didn't get anything good for like any limited boxes, but looking back at the internationals, it was difficult because I had so few players who could play I could play in that week. So it is what it is. Glad the Premier League and other like Bundesliga and Eredivisie are all back, so that I can start playing like the actual game that I like to play with pros. And there's no internationals again until March, so that's definitely a highlight for us. We're definitely not going to be able to pull another limited. That's second week in a row. We're on a poor run of form here. And last one, just tickets. We had a terrible round of pulls. That was the worst round of pulls I think I have ever had while I'm making these videos. Like 7 boxes, I just got 6 tickets. I think it was all just 1 ticket each. 6 tickets and 1 essence. But we are 6 away from being able to pull a T5. Next week, I mean, I don't want to, because I said that last week, but with the potential rewards I could get here, I would hope it would be maybe a bit more than 7 by the end of the games today. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do a bit more next week in terms of revealing new cards and hopefully getting something decent, because I haven't had a new card in weeks, man. So it's been too long. I'm getting the shakes. But we will also now check out the NBA stuff. I haven't actually looked at it today, so I'll see how my daily hoops did. Ooh, looks like they did all right. I got some rewards to claim. So let's just have a look how we did yesterday. We got a tier 2 and a 1-star box. We got a box to open in NBA. Love it. So my team, it was, what was it? Big fellas. So everyone over... Oh, no, it was only forwards and centres are eligible. So Jalen Smith was the only one who didn't do too well. But other than that, that's a fairly good team, isn't it? It's not too shabby. And we will go to the rewards, which I think you have to go back here, yeah, to claim them. So let's see who my common is that I got. Thing is, you can swap commons. So actually, who you get, if it's a good player who is worth a fair amount, then he plays, which isn't too bad to have a player who actually plays. But what you can do, I'm not sure, I'll just go through it. You can go onto your common market, and any players are available to add, and you have like a swap score, and any common cards that you've got, you can drop them and you get that score there. So like my new card I just got, Reed Shepherd, I can drop him for 9 points. I already have some points from dropping a few players. And then I can use those points. So I'd have like 60 odd. I can basically get any of the top performers at the moment and then chuck them into the team. So that's how the commons work. I quite like the way it works, because it means that you can every week, or even not even every week, every day, you go into, so what's it's shootout. Only points and 3-pointers gain points. So that's, I do like as well, Daily Hoops has like these different like caveats to what you get. So like anyone who's great at rebounds is pointless, literally pointless in this game mode, because you're only getting points for points and 3-pointers, and turnovers still lose points. There was one a few days ago which was turnovers give you 10 points. So you basically wanted to get the most rubbish players you could in the team, and you're sorted. And then you can build your team, but you can swap out every day your common cards. You do lose a little bit when you swap a card. It's not as much as it is to buy them. So you can't, if you don't have a lot of commons to begin with, like build them up first, like win a few common daily hoops so that you've got enough cards to swap it out and not like be without. And then you can definitely like pick and choose the best players you think for each day, rather than like having to just stick with the commons you've got. Whereas with limited, obviously you've brought the limited cards, you're stuck with the ones you've got, sort of thing. So yeah, that's how that went. I just realised I got so sidetracked. I didn't open my box. Got a 1-star box. Okay, 1-stars don't usually have a huge amounts in them, but let's Let's crack it open and see what we get. We got money. $3.95 on the market. You know what? Not too shabby. I have noticed that you get more of these because it's trying to push you into buying limited cards. I wonder if, because they did change the rewards like layout, so how rewards work, and I think that's probably what they're why they do that, because then you're more likely to spend money, and the limited cards for NBA are so much more expensive than for the football. It's a bit ridiculous, not gonna lie. At the moment for this week, till the 25th, so till tomorrow, we're on track for a tier 2 and a 1-star box. No one else left to play though, so it all depends on what happens today and tomorrow game wise. And our limited, do you know what? That might actually happen. I might actually win a limited, win a rewards in limited. That's crazy. I haven't done that before. So there you go. That's my look at the NBA. We'll come back next week to see if I did win that or not. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you're thinking of the football or the NBA. It's so rare what you're doing. If there's any teams you like, any leagues you're liking, you know, all that stuff. Love to hear about it in the comments. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you when I see you.